Hi everyone, welcome to your last lesson for today. If you remember, I told you that we're going to be talking about history. So in this history lesson, we're mostly going to revise. So talk again about what were your history tasks last week. Last week when you got your instructions and materials for history lesson, you didn't have a video of me to accompany it. So I would like us for that reason today to go over the things again together, okay, and to make sure that if there was something that you maybe didn't understand or you had a little bit of a problem doing by yourself, maybe now I can give you some more information and it's going to be easier for you to do it, okay? So what we were talking about is how basically how we as human beings, we are all born. When we are all born, this is something we have in similar. Remember we talked about how we are similar and how we are different in science lessons. Well, one thing we have in common is that when we are born, we are all born as babies. Yeah, we all start very, very tiny as babies. And then as time passes by, we grow, we become bigger, stronger, more capable, in the sense that we learn a lot of new skills. As when we are babies, newborns, we do not talk, but you can hear me talk now, you can talk. So in time we learn the skill, let's call it, we gain the ability to speak, to walk, to feed ourselves all alone, to read, to write, drive a car, fly a plane, all these things that we learn in time, okay? So all in all, in short, we all grow, and as we grow, we all change. Now, first thing that I've sent you last time was this presentation. I hope you can see it here. So just to quickly go over it, we use different names for different stages of our growth, yes? So we all start as babies, yeah? This is the first stage. When we are newborn, we are babies, okay? Babies don't have a lot of, let's say, abilities to do things on their own. They can't really take care of themselves. And in this very young age, they need somebody to look after them and take care of them. And this is all up to, let's say, age of 2 or 3. If you have a younger brother or sister at home, then when they're 2 or 3, they're already, there are some things they can do. They started talking, they can maybe walk a little bit, run. Okay, they move on their own. So the next stage we have here is a child. You are all children. We can say that between a baby and a child, we can put category of toddlers or a very young child also. That would be someone who is around 2 or 3 years old. Okay? Somewhere when you, let's say, are 12, 13, and all the way into your 20s, you're what people call a teenager. So you are in size more similar to an adult, but you're still growing, your bodies are still forming, and this is, how should I say, not your final shape. Okay? And then from some moment in your 20s and for the most of your life, you're actually what we call adult. So adults are your parents, your teachers, most of the people that you know are actually adults. And then after living a long life and as adult, you're still adult, but now you're called elderly. Yeah? So elderly people are people who are maybe in their 60s, 70s, 80s, 90s, who are maybe now working a little bit less, resting a bit more, okay, as they're getting older. A lot of people tend to lose a little bit of the energy that they had when they were adults, okay? So those are just some of the stages. I think you probably already knew many of these words. I just wanted to go over them one more time with you. And the other thing that I sent you last week is this worksheet. I hope you can see it well, because right now what we're doing, okay, we are focusing on the differences between a child, which you are, and a baby, okay? So before you can compare, first let's figure out which of these things babies need, okay? So it says, put a tick next to the things that are for baby, put X next to the things that are not for a baby. The first one has been done for you, okay? So the first one is a milk bottle, and there's a tick, of course, because a baby uses a milk bottle, okay? So if you've already done this, you can now check your work. If you haven't, okay, you can do it now if you have this worksheet, or just pay attention, think about these things. Do you agree? Do you disagree? Okay, so the next thing we have here is books. Our books. Can babies read? I don't think so. So for this reason, books are not for babies. Of course, we can read a book to a baby if we want to, but it's not something that a baby can use on its own. Okay? Next we have blocks. Well, I would say that for a very young baby, blocks might be a little bit tricky to play with. So I'll put an X, and you let me know what you think. If you have a baby at home, does your baby play with blocks? A backpack. Could we put a backpack on a baby's back and expect the baby to stand up and carry its own things? Of course not. So we're going to put an X. This is not something that a baby would use. Okay, so next we have a stroller. Strollers are made for babies exclusively. So we're going to put a tick. Okay, skip rope. Opa. Can a baby skip? Not really. Can baby even hold this? Maybe a little bit, but not probably in the way this was intended. So I'm going to put an X. Okay, then we have, I think this is called a high chair, where the babies sit and then they're fed by their parents or anybody else who is taking care of them. So I would most definitely say yes. Okay, then we have a bicycle, and it's a two-wheel bicycle, a very big one. So I think that a baby couldn't even sit on this. So I'm definitely putting an X. And these are the things you've probably seen many babies use. It's called a rattle. Are rattles for baby? Of course. They're easy to use. Babies can move them with their hands, and they make these noises that babies really love. Okay? So this is how I did it. Did you do it the same? Let me know about blocks. If you have baby sisters or brothers at home, do they use blocks? Okay? So this was your first tasks from last time. You were supposed to try and do that worksheet. If you haven't, now you have the chance. It's all okay. And then you had something like this, okay? But I've decided to do it on my board. And if you want, you can, if you haven't done this already, you can maybe do it in your notebooks, or again, just pay attention to what I'm saying. And let's see if you agree or disagree with what I have to say. So the idea here is that we have this chart, this is called a chart, where you can compare yourselves as a baby. So this column is for baby, you at baby age, and this column is for now, right now, the 25th of March. Now, I'm not a child like you, but I'm going to write in data, information for myself at this age, because to be honest, I can't remember information from you when I was 5 or 6. Okay, so let's see. The first thing is, let's compare the drinks. So when I was a baby, I know that the things that I drank were milk and water. Okay, I would say that I still drink both milk and water. But now I drink something that I didn't drink as a baby. I drink quite a lot of coffee. Okay, so two things are the same, but one thing is new. Now I drink something that I didn't drink as a baby. Okay, I don't like juices or sodas, so I never really drank that. Next thing, so your chart says here, I ate, I eat. I just wrote food because this is about food. I know that when I was, well, I'm not sure what I actually ate when I was a baby. I know that I ate actually a lot of biscuits and milk. Biscuit plus milk. Okay. Whereas now I eat more, let's say, pasta, okay, and sandwiches. And one thing that is the same, then and now I eat, well, I'm not sure actually about then, but now I definitely eat a lot of fruits. Okay, so the way I eat has changed a lot. You know, when I was a baby, I didn't have teeth, so I couldn't really chew my food. So somebody had to feed me. Now I eat on my own, and I eat food that you can't eat without chewing. Okay. Then what I wore and what I wear now. Well, when I was a baby, I wore very small things. And now I wear a lot of much bigger things. Well, to be honest, let's say like this. What I wear now, for example, when it's cold outside, I would put on a coat. I would put on a pair of boots. When it's sunny, I would put sunglasses. Okay. And right now I'm wearing a pair of jeans. Okay. So all these things I never wore when I was a baby. Okay. And finally, the last thing, where did I sleep as a baby? Where do I sleep now? When I was a baby, I had I think this is called a crib, like a small bed with bars on the side. And now I, of course, like everybody else, in a bed. Okay. So what you can see from here, what can you see, is that from the moment when I was a baby until now, some things stayed the same. Yes, I drank milk and water then, I still drink them now. I ate biscuits and milk, and now I could also eat a biscuit or milk. But there are more things that I use, yeah? So now, for example, I drink coffee, which I never drank as a baby. I can eat sandwiches or a steak, a big piece of meat, because I can chew them because now I have teeth. I used to wear smaller clothes. Now I wear, of course, clothes which is bigger, but also it's more varied. There are different things. When I was a baby, I didn't wear boots, I didn't wear coats, sunglasses, jeans, okay? I used to sleep in a crib, which is basically like a small bed with bars that protect you from falling out, and now I sleep in a big proper bed. I can also sleep in a couch or in a tent or in an air mattress. So what is the conclusion here? As time passes by, the things we can do and the things that we use change. And you will see, I, for example, here wrote more things than I wrote here, because as time passes by, we use more things. We need more things. And one of the reasons why we use more things is simply because we know how to use them. We don't use many of those things when we are baby or children because at that point we still hadn't learned how to use them, okay? So I'm going to wrap out the board right now, and I'm going to draw something called the timeline, and then I'm going to explain to you what is your final task for today. So I'll see you in a minute.